Hello, folks.
Why are we loading the most expensive energy costs?
Today, you're about to witness a statement that left the entire British Parliament stunned.
We've been making the best quality steel in the world for 135 years.
Conservative MP Edward Leigh delivers a powerful and deeply emotional speech on behalf of thousands of steelworkers in Scunthorpe.
And my primary concern today is with the nearly 3,000 people who work in this plant.
Exposing how the sale of British steel to a Chinese-owned company has placed one of the UK's most vital industries and our national security in serious jeopardy. He challenges his own party, calls out Parliament's silence.
Silence! It's easy to be wise after the event, but I'm worried about...
And lays bare the consequences of crippling energy prices that are making British steel utterly uncompetitive compared to Germany, France, and even South Korea.
We are making our own steel industry uncompetitive. We have to stop these green energy costs. We have to be realistic. I see that
But it's what he says near the end about the true nature of Chinese state control and our failure to protect critical infrastructure that sent shockwaves across the chamber. Stay with us until the end. What's revealed here is being buried by mainstream coverage. Like, share, and subscribe, because key voices like this are being drowned out, and we won't let that continue.
I've just come off the phone talking to Tom Smith, the convener, trade union convener at the blast furnaces, on behalf of my many constituents who work in Scunthorpe next door. And my primary concern today is with the nearly 3,000 people who work in this plant. Let's be clear, we have been making the best quality steel in the world for 135 years in Lincolnshire, and we intend to go on doing it. We are not going to allow cheap, inferior Chinese steel to kill off our industry. The workers of Scunthorpe are breathing a sigh of relief. Now, we can be party political. I have to say, I thought the chair of the Business Committee made an excellent speech just now. He was positive. He talked in strategic terms. I don't know what the Liberal Democrat spokesman achieved by constantly attacking the Conservative Party in what is a very complex issue. Of course, we can be criticised because we sold this company to Jingay. Yes, I agree. But how many voices over there were speaking up at the time? And were they speaking up when Greg Clark, our business secretary, paid the wages of the Scunthorpe steel workers for many months? Were they speaking up when we saved Sheffield Forge Masters? This is a highly complex issue, and we should be working together. So I support this bill. Now, I know that we can be critical of the government. Perhaps we should have acted sooner. And my honourable friend has been raising this point. I was sitting beside him when he raised it at the end of March, and he called for nationalisation of this industry. But we've now got to work together to save our steel-making capacity. But this is a bit of a sticking plaster, we know that. It's quite dangerous. Quite extensive powers have been taken by government. There has to be a sunset clause. We are given unprecedented powers to government. We can criticise them for not acting sooner. But this is just a sticking plaster on a gaping wound. Let's be honest. Steel making in this country is under extreme stress. And why is that? Why are we loading the most expensive energy costs on our own steel production? Why is Scunthorpe paying almost twice as much in energy costs as in South Korea or in America? High energy prices make British UK steel expensive to produce and uncompetitive versus our European counterparts. The average price paid by UK steelmakers for 24-25 was £66 a megawatt hour, compared with the German price of 50 and the French price of 43. We are making our own steel industry uncompetitive. We have to stop these green energy costs. We have to be realistic. I see that the Secretary of State for Net Zero has now left. But get real. You know, we can take it into public ownership now, but if we go on loading these costs in our industry, we will be coming back month after month, year after year. So, we will support this bill. We want a sunset clause. But we have to get real about China too. Was it not obvious for weeks, indeed for months, that this company, this so-called private company, there is no such thing as a private company in China. They're all under the cosh of the government, under an autocratic regime. What do they care about the steelworkers in Scunthorpe? What do they care about our national interest? So never again, colleagues, must we allow a strategic industry like this to fall into the hands of the Chinese, the Russians, or anybody else. I'm going to give way. I'm going to finish in a moment. I've made my point. So, just try and... Oh, I'll give way to the Honourable Lady. Go on.
I am extremely grateful to the Honourable Gentleman for giving way. I would just like to ask him to clarify whether he was aware that the Chinese company that is now in possession of British Steel was actually sold it by a Conservative government of which he was a part.
Well, of course I'm aware, because I've just said it. I've just admitted that it was a mistake, but I've asked everybody here, what were they saying at the time? Of course, silence. Silence. It's easy to be wise after the event, but I'm worried about my steel workers. I'm worried about their future. I'm not worried. Of course, our former leader, yes.
I just want to make sure, he puts the record straight. Some of us on this side warned the government then it was the wrong act.
Well done. Very well. Some of us apparently warned the government. I don't know how many, but we now know what is the true nature of our Chinese friends. So, we support the bill. Let's make our steel industry really competitive again. Let's make Great Britain great again.
We must protect the truth, defend British workers, and hold power to account. Hit the like button, drop a comment, and make sure you're subscribed.